Captain's Clash Europe continues. We're still in the round robin, everybody. Team Dynouh goes up against Team HasuObs. And we have a pretty peculiar situation now in front of us. Team Dynouh so far has, not really delivered. Let's just put it like that. They had 2 matches, 2 best of 3s, and they lost both of them. They find themselves at the bottom of the standings, whereas Team HasuObs on the right side has also not done really too well. They have 1 win, 1 loss. And now the chance for both of these teams to get out of that rut a little bit. There were high expectations, obviously, for both of them. You can also argue that Hasu's team barely got that 1 win that they have. And it looked for a long time like they would lose that series as well. But as is right now, we have 6 teams in the round robin phase of the tournament. And only 4 of them will advance to the playoffs. So for Dynouh in particular, this is tricky. If they don't win here, then they very likely are not going to make it into the playoffs. So they really have to dig deep at this point to make sure that this is going a little bit better than the previous matches that they played. If you're unfamiliar with the tournament format here, captains were nominated, and those captains then, with the help of an auction system, drafted their teams out of a pool of players that signed up for the event. And we are now, therefore, in a situation where most of these teams, I mean, there's a couple of players, obviously, that played together in the past, but these are basically new teams only for this particular tournament, and therefore the power levels are a little bit shaken up. So oftentimes you're looking towards the captains and towards whoever they drafted, and you're thinking, okay, is this something where I feel the team can do well? Yes, no. But Dynouh's team, they are absolutely stacked when it comes to name recognition, but they haven't delivered whatsoever. The team that is running the show right now is Team Disciple. Disciple's team has been crushing it, and I mean, ridiculously. They are unstoppable, that's at least what it seems like. Team Sven got close, but even they, at the end of the day, just didn't have it in them. So now that we're going into this particular best of 3 series, it's going to be an important one for the 2 of them. Maybe a little bit more important for the blue team than for the red because of their 0-2 record. But now we have Captain Rex on Malfurion. We get Yrel, we get Junkrat, as we're heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen. Tracer got already banned out of the Malfurion pick that we got early on. Actually, before that. But, yeah, with Hogga and Rotariel, let's see what Team Hasu can do. Garrosh gets eliminated. And after the ban on Chromie, what else do they want to get rid of here? You have Gavlo on the red side, so there's a lot of sneaky stuff that he can play. They eliminate Vala, which has seen more play in the tournament now than in previous events. This is obviously all played out on the Lily patch, the knockback patch, whatever you want to call it. It's the first tournament on the top level, by the way, that gets played out on that patch. But for now, we're getting the next 2 picks here. The front lane is already established, at least past the week. We get Lucio for Hunter Orc. And then, the next pick, Hanzo. Provides a little bit of vision, good interrupt potential whenever somebody is attempting to turn in. But, if I'm Team Dynouh here, I would be a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. This has not been a good tournament for them, and if they want to have any hopes of advancing to the playoffs, then they need to really deliver now. Maybe they just had a bad day, who knows? Maybe today, things are looking better. They go Stitches, and, well, that's actually a pretty nice lineup for them. They have Stitches plus Junkrat for the trap, Malfurion for the roots, they have Yrel for a bit of knockback action, and then we get Tychus, who can burn a target down pretty quickly. Very curious if with this lineup he would consider going into an auto attack build. Very likely the answer is no. But given everything that they're trying to do, if they want to go all in on this, they have technically some use for sustainable damage after hook and the isolation of a specific target. But again, we'll see. Kerrigan, also not a very common pick these days, and we get out together with Tyrael here, so we have a triple front line for Team Hasu as we're heading into game number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Dynouh versus HasuObs on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Well, time to see what the blue team can do here. We have on the left the captain, Dynouh himself with Junkrat. We get Cure on Tychus, Bad Benny with Stitches, and then Captain Rex on Malfurion with Copenhagen on Yrel. And over on the right side, Team HasuObs with Hasu himself on Hanzo. We get Gavlo on Karrigan now. Johan is playing Tyrael. We're getting Hunter Orc on Lucio. And Swamgrotta is playing Hogger. I'm very curious to see how Karrigan is going to do here. Karrigan is not really as common of a pick anymore as we've seen her in the past. This was obviously always one of the maps where she got picked quite frequently, especially in the days when Nick was still actively playing. So then we got a lot of Nick's Karrigan, and he obviously played her on way more maps than only this one. But I would say the two maps where Karrigan was played the most at that time were Tomb of the Spider Queen and also Inferno Shrines. Right now, Stitcher's already rotating around. We have the grenade build for Tychus, again to be expected. Personally, I'm a big fan of like mixing it up a little bit with the talent builds and going for that auto attack style with Tychus. But obviously, the stronger and established build, generally speaking, is just a grenade build. So it depends highly on what your opponent is going to do, what you are trying to do, if you are deviating away from that norm. This is just well established and quite powerful. Now, Stitches obviously is also eager to get those hooks connected and get to level 13 where he gets the extended range. Both teams are making moves for the Bruiser camp. In this case, we, by the way, do not get Hungry for More, but we have Patchwork Creation instead. Hungry for More, oftentimes a nice choice on Tomb of the Spider Queen, simply because with easy rotations between lanes that are very close to each other, you can maximize the amount of globes that you get and therefore boost your hit points pretty significantly. Blue team is going for an additional camp at the bottom of the map as they're moving in for those Siege Giants, and considering that they have 3 heroes here, they will get that. So, Siege Giants for them, putting them a little bit further ahead on all of this. Yeah. We're having with Captain Rax on level 1, Emerald Dreams, and Junkrat as he rotates around. He's going to be responsible for a lot of the interrupts. Grenade obviously is going to do the same thing, so we're going to see some Tychus moves as he's interrupting potential turn-ins. But the push through the middle is now continued by Team HasuObs. They're trying to take that wall out here and also utilizing Tyrael and the shield that he provides. Yeah, nice play for Johan though. That might be a kill, and it is a kill. They get the hook and Tyrael is gone. So, job well done. That is first blood in the game. So first we had a bit of displacement by Junkrat and then the follow-up from Stitches. So that was pretty neat. Gives them a few additional gems, takes a very small number away from the opponent. And now the move to go for maybe a follow-up here. But yeah, can look in a second kill. But again, they are starting things off with the lead. So Team Dynouh, they gotta deliver today. As I said before, they are 0-2. You need to bring it at this point. If you want to have a chance for the playoffs, then you need to really make the big plays from here on out. And they're off to a good start. They get another hook. The root, not quite perfect. Hunter Orc was able to dodge out on it, so it doesn't get affected here. We have, on top of that, turn-in attempts, and 11 were delivered. Dynouh is the one finding himself on Junkrat, and looking also to potentially turn in everything that he has. Is able... it's not able to deliver. No, Johan was there, gets now hooked and rooted. So that's a little bit of damage on Tyrael, but not nearly as much as they would have probably expected. Hasu, on the other hand, is having a bit of a problem. And that was also true yesterday when they played. Yeah, those old man reflexes didn't look as sharp yesterday. But maybe today, redeeming himself. Redeeming is a little bit harsh. That's not really where we're at right now. But that's a nice double kill with Tyrael gone again and Lucio. But yeah, redeeming is a little bit harsh. They won a series yesterday. It was a close call. And let's face it, the one series that they lost was against the dominant team in this round robin group. We have some adjustments for Bad Benny as well on Stitches. He went straight into the Vile Cleaver. Now we have the Brutification for him. Level 7 on both sides, but 3 kills to 0. Allowed the blue team to get very close to their first weapon wave and the turn-in. Still a bit of a rotation towards the top happening. And here comes the full objective. Gavlo with Karrigan is at 33 gems, by the way. So, yeah, that is big. 33 gems on Karrigan. She's usually the one that wants to come in and really be aggressive. But you gotta be super careful if you're holding this many gems, because if you're the one getting killed, if your teammates cannot recover, then you are in quite some trouble. So, yeah, we'll see how much Gavlo can do. If he can soon turn in or if he maybe becomes the target. But now we have the 1 versus 1 at the bottom of the map. Another play against Hunter Orc, but the root got dodged once more. Slowed down the rest of the team in their rotation towards the top though. Karrigan is still holding on to the mid lane defense. Going up against the Web Weavers. At top line, the wall was taken out. They're trying to get a little bit more here. Hope, of course, to take that fort, but I think they won't be able to. And Karrigan is now rotating down. They are apparently trying to go for Copenhagen, who is going to be able to get away. Yep, jumps out. A couple of shots fired. Not really all that much achieved by Team Dynouh. They got damage in on the top fort. Yeah, some at least. Bottom wall is also gone. But fairly, I mean, again, a fairly decent defense here by the red team. Not too much work done. Everybody's just now operating again on their bruiser cams, trying to get those. The big difference is the experience lead. Blue team established an early level 10 because of all of this. Could now secure the gems that they are holding and turn in with them. Yeah, the double checking here. It's a dodge out, but they can force that fight easily. Problem is that there's only 2 defenders at the top. Everybody else is pushing at the bottom of the map, and even Odin got popped here. They want to get some nice damage in on that fort, and to be frank, they are doing a great job on this. So there's the damage against Hasu once again, but the bottom fort is losing tons of hit points. So this is a very aggressive push and a highly successful one at that. Karrigan gets killed, but turned the gems in already. Oh boy, imagine for a moment if Karrigan was taken down after a gorge without turning in the gems before. That would have been the nightmare scenario for the red team. So now they get their first turn in. They have some options to push this out, but yeah, good on Gavlo for turning the gems in before he got snatched up by Stitches. That could have been an utter disaster for the team on the right. So far, they have done a good move at the bottom of the map with that little play that they made. And yeah, that worked well. They didn't get the fort, but it's super close to falling. So right now it's all about how much damage can the red team get here. Bottom of the map, yeah, Swampcorta again moving in and trying to attack as they're going for some of the towers. They break through the wall easily. Jungler defends the top lane, but with 3 heroes pushing at the bottom of the map and the rest of them getting ready to jump Irel, they need some assistance. Yeah, Judgment has been used, and there's Odin. They really want to make sure that they're not losing anything here. So that fort is going to be still standing in another second, but the red team is now rotating towards the top. Their web weavers are still there for a few more seconds, but the towers are now taking it out. It was Junkrat, of course, that was holding on to the top lane for a long time. Yeah, and here's the arrow. Nice. Cure, he's fine. Cure's Gucci is able to get away here. Playing obviously cross-server from NA, so small disadvantage in ping that he has. And yeah, with that, down at the bottom of the map, we're still having the next focus on Copenhagen, and he's dead. That is a lot of gems gone too, and nobody recovers them. Instead, they go for Stitches, who had a hook and a gorge, but Cure falls. They push into the corner. Bad Benny's about to die. Guys, they're nearly losing all of the gems that they've been holding. Hanzo made it out, survived through it, and even though the lead-in kills goes to Team Dynouh, they've lost way too much ground here. Level 12 versus level 12, both of them closing in on 13. But here comes the next web weaver wave for the red team, and Team Dynouh lost way too many of their gems. So that was a massive problem. The red team with a lot of momentum that they can now use in order to take control of the game. So this hurts. This hurts a lot. Level 13 tunnel on both sides. That means also that we got the hook range increased. So yeah, that's going to be pretty big. But I gotta say, this is really bad news, because your ticket back into a game when you're falling a bit behind is always the amount of gems that you hold and the amount of turn-ins that you can get with them. And this has been significantly reduced on the blue team side, so very nicely done. Red team with an attempt to take some more structures out. Not really too successful here in the middle, so that gets defended. Down at the bottom of the map, it's Copenhagen taking the web weavers apart. And up at the top, they've also been taken out. So at least the objective defense is solid. They did well. Defended this quite nicely. Great job by them. And now, of course, the follow-up there would be, what can they themselves now do? Because they have 32 gems that they're still holding on to, mainly from Dynouh. They will get close to another turn-in, but if you compare the two teams right now, they lost so much. The red team is a turn-in ahead and has more gems now than their opponents. That's where we're at right now. So essentially an entire turn-in was denied by Team HasuObs by them stealing gems away. Dynouh turned in. Secured those. Nice! They get Tyrael, but the arrow from Hanzo. Here's the root. And even that wasn't quite on point. So they look for a kill on Tyrael, but they can't get it. Definitely scare them a bit, but not more than that. Another hook, but this one goes nowhere. Judgment could, of course, also still be used. Especially Urel needs to be careful as she's moving away. Bottom of the map, Siege Giants are still pushing there too. Top side, Junkrat getting ready. 15 on both sides. They try and make a play for maybe Stitches. Gorge is going to be back up in 25 seconds, but those hooks can still connect. Kerrigan also trying to come in. The hook on Lucio, but they just can't get anything for it. So yeah, Lucio's still fine. Copenhagen, on the other hand, needs to be saved, and that's where Malfurion comes into play and pops his ult quickly to make sure that nobody falls just yet. Nobody left behind. For sure an Ohana moment right here. Dynouh wants to try and turn in. They have a turn in. I mean, again, if they can deliver their gems, they have a turn in. They got another Web Weaver wave. That would be their opportunity to repay the opponent and finally take some of those forts out that they damaged earlier. The raw damage output, talking about damage, we have Hanzo on 32,000. Tychus is at 20k top damage for the blue team. Urel at the bottom of the map. They need 20 gems. She doesn't have enough for the full turn-in. And she also won't be able to complete this because they already sniffed her out and are able to shut that down. 16 on both sides by now. Yep, they're zoning them away from the top, but there's the turn-in at the bottom, and it's the red team that gets the third turn-in a row. 3 turn-ins for Team HasuObs. And if you're Team Dynouh, you're a little bit frustrated at this point. If you can defend again, I mean, it would be nice. But we'll see if they can get there. The hook! And ends up on the wrong side of the wall. And they can't get the kill. That would have been a nice one. Imagine Lucio dying there just as the Web Weavers touch ground. That would be big. But now we have Odin used. So this one in the middle shouldn't really go too far. Down at the bottom of the map. Little bit of damage done. Should be a defense that isn't costing them too much either. But I guess the rotation towards the middle is going to take this fort out eventually. Top side, this they will likely be able to still safeguard. Would be a bit surprised if that wasn't the case, yeah. But I don't think that Tychus alone is really going to cut it. They need a bit more damage. And yeah, Junkrat is needed at this point. Judgment is in. And Cure gets away as the arrow flies nowhere. Riptire to burn it down even faster than that. They're saving the fort at the top. Even the one at the bottom of the map is at least for now still standing. Stitches hoping for another hook and a gorge. But what they should really hope for is a turn-in at the bottom of the map. It's a very, very tense first game. Again, it's Tyrael that gets hit. And they burn him into the ground. But Malfurion gets taken on at the same time and dies too. So that's a trade again. Another hook. They just can't get... Well, maybe now. Maybe with a follow-up from Urel, not even there. And instead, Copenhagen falls. Kerrigan with the Chrysalis. She's a bit low too. But it's always a positive trade from the red team, from the looks of it here. They're super even in experience. It's just really a matter of turning your gems in. And yeah, it's 5 kills to 5. But the problem is that every single time that a hero on the red team died, allies picked up the gems. Most of them at least. And on the other hand, you have Team Dynouh dying, and nobody is in a position where they can grab him and secure him. So they are now far behind. If they are able to get even in turn-ins with Team HasuObs, though, I think they could pull far ahead here. Because it's actually kind of surprising if you think about it. There were 2 additional turn-ins for the red team, and they have not really gotten all that much more. If we get 2 more turns for Team Dynouh, I can pretty much guarantee you that not a single fort will be standing, and they will have taken a much bigger lead in experience. The problem for them is they need to get to the point where they finally get those turn-ins. And so far, the red team has done a fantastic job safeguarding the turn-in points, controlling them, getting vision, getting interrupts, and are trying to propel this towards level 20. Again, the move for Hanzo, but he gets out. A little bit of an assist here, to be fair. So Khaldor is also moving back. But where is that turn-in? There's the turn-in. Alright, Dynouh delivered. They need more. Bad Benny has 39 gems, and they're trying to turn in at the bottom of the map now. Cure is. Benny is apparently comfortable holding 39 gems, and there's the blue team's weapon wave. Alright, it's party time. I mean, right now, this is the time where you show your cards. What do you have? They have half a level until the red team hits level 20. So this is the moment where you have to deliver. You got 40,000 damage on Junkrat, 32,000 for Tychus. You got 48k on the side of Hanzo. And if you don't make a move now, then when will you? Urel pops the ult, actually doesn't, and dies. Yeah, ult cooldown was already used previously. Gets hit, gets murdered. Fort in the middle falls. The fort of the blue team, by the way. Yes, they are the ones that have the objective on the map, but they died regardless. So they lost Urel, they lost the fort. Now they're trying to push. Top side fort will fall. Bottom fort likely too, but there's level 20 as expected for Team Hasu. Top defense, it's not enough. 1 fort down, bottom one will fall as well. Fight in the middle is centering on Bad Benny. 39 gems, kiss him goodbye, kiss him and miss him. That is the ticket back into the game, and I mean, right now, Team Dynouh very likely gonna die a slow and painful death here. Comeback for them would be more than impressive, because how many gems did they lose in total now? Nearly 100. Yeah, nearly 100 gems were lost. Can they get the kill here? I don't think so. Nah. Khaldor moves top. They're already on the boss. And just as a side note, they can get another turn in too. So they have the turn in available. Now, Cure makes it back as well. Gavlo. That's in total 60 gems that they hold on those two heroes. And they are about to get the Web Weaver wave. Are they timing the boss? Yes. So they're actually timing this one. Red Web Weavers are in. And Tyrael can take this whenever. They're going to wait for the Web Weavers to slowly start up, I suppose. And the blue team is not doing anything around it. They have their own level 20 talents, so at least for the defense, we are going to see both of the teams with Storm talents. Hungry Stitches. And now the double whammy at the top lane. That fort's gone. They're trying to turn the boss into dust quickly, or at least burn it down a little bit so that they're not losing too much. The hope is, of course, to hold on to your keeps. There's the hook, but no direct follow-up. The arrow, but negated. Cure is still fine and works the damage in against the opponent's boss. So, can they hold on to that keep? Can they hold on to the game? Can they defend the core? Those are the big questions right now. As we have Team HasuObs in full force at the top lane. Urel is defending the middle of the map. Junkrat chipped in a bit as well. And here, it honestly seems like they're not going to get as much out of this as they envision. This is the boss about to be gone, and the red team is already starting to fall back here. Urel has safeguarded the middle of the map. There's still a Web Weaver wave down at the bot lane. And up here, the defense is strong. I gotta say that the red team is really doing a poor job in getting value on those Web Weaver waves. They're not getting a lot. Now, does that matter? Right now, not too much, because at the end of the day, they've been shutting down the opponents at every turn and deleted their gems as well. It could potentially matter if somehow the blue team is holding on to this and is able to get more and more late game turn-ins. If that happens, then it's a different story. But this was a 19-minute push, and the keep has taken a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot. The fort at the top lane has been destroyed. So if they're ever making it to a point where they're gaining a little bit of momentum, this could still turn. They try and go for Tyrael, and they get the kill. Tyrael is down. So he's dead. If the blue team is getting more objectives here and momentum, they can turn this game. It's a shame that they lost this many gems. Benny alone, when he was killed the last time, lost 39. So if they're somehow able to get more turn-ins, they should easily be able to pull ahead in structures. Or at least go even. But so far, it hasn't really been their game. On a kill count, it doesn't look too bad. 6 kills to 7. It's just the impact of these kills that we've seen so far that was very different. Oh, hello, Kerrigan! Chrysalis is out, and Garflo has to jump out. But yeah, that got scary for a moment. Dynouh is now turning in. It's another 12 gems that they're delivering, and Bad Benny is sitting on 9. So if they get this one, they get another Web Weaver wave. And that would drop the fort in the middle. I do not see a world in which Team HasuObs is able to defend this. Tyrael is now back. So now it's a 5 versus 5 on the map again. But there's no advantages anymore with talents. That chip has sailed. 54,000 for Dynouh, 60,000 damage for Hasu. And right now, let's get the aggression through the middle. Odin is up, and they can pop it wherever they want to. They have still the shockwave, only connecting with the back end. Here comes the second Gobble Gobble, and can they get the kill here? They go for Hogger. Hogger's a little bit low. Arrow from Hanzo. Nice judgment on Stitches. Maybe not the prime target for Judgment, but with Hogger already gone, he has momentum, and this is going to make the defense so much harder, of course, too. Lucio's helping them to escape here. Keep in the, or the fort in the middle is about to go down, and the Web Weaver is pushing the top lane as we speak. They're already busy at the bottom of the map as well. That wall is opened up, 7 kills to 7, and this is where the main attack is now coming in. Odin expired, and here's the attack, here's the moment, here's the opportunity. The keep is about to fall, and just like that, Team Dynouh is ahead in structures. It took them a long time to get a foothold in this game. They lost way too many gems for comfort, but they have now an opportunity to pull a bit ahead here. Hogger is still not back to business. They're trying to go for Tyrael again, and Tyrael is still alive. They save him. What about the core, though? Takes another 12 seconds for Hogger to be back, and the core is losing its shield quickly. Judgment on Stitches again, who shrugs it off like it's nothing. He doesn't care. The core loses its shield, and they're trying to get more damage in. But how much damage can they really deliver here? They try another hook. Can't. Hogger is back. It's a 5 versus 5. And they're not sieging up aggressively, but they're attempting to turn it still. On Kerrigan, Chrysalis out. Again, the arrow straight into the face of Yrel. Stitches died, and that might just be a little bit too much for Team Dynouh to handle. They're retreating in full force. They want to get away here. And are they able to escape? Yrel just says, alright boys, let me slow them down a bit, but there's another judgment and another kill. Junkrat is gone, and even with Malfurion trying to cover the retreat with a couple of roots, as he is laying down the lawn, they are starting to fall farther and farther behind. And there is a boss up now. There's a boss up on the map, and it's a 5 versus 3. And now that we're 23 minutes into the game, that boss would wreck. Absolutely wreck. So, yeah, looking good again for the red team. It looked dicey for a few seconds. I mean, honestly, that bot lane push, if Tyrael dies when they nearly killed him, I think he had like 300 hit points left as he was about to escape, which is very little compared to his max HP. But if he died in that situation, there's a good chance that Team Dynouh would have attempted to stick it out at the core and try and get it. Tyrael has died 4 times now in total. But, yeah, there's the boss. They don't get the turn-ins, so they don't have enough gems for a full turn-in. But they're also not pushing with this one. They're just simply letting this one go through the top lane and saying like, well, it's a super late game boss. We are going to get value out of this for sure. So let's just make sure that we're going to go and get the rest of the map as well, which in this case means the bruiser camp that they're going for. But I don't think that the boss can actually take that keep out. Well, it might be close. But no. So, they got the boss, but they didn't get anything for it. Yeah, was that really worth it, not pushing? I mean, I honestly would say no. The lanes are heavily pushed out, that's the good news. So, yeah, when it comes to just simple lane control, you can now, for example, see the vision here, so they have basically nothing. Red team is pinned down. They have a little bit of vision over on the bot lane, but that's about it. But the red team is just controlling all of those points here. And they have, as you can now see, vision of basically the full map. So not really a problem for them whatsoever. They're guarding the turn-in points, they're getting closer and closer to another Web Weaver wave, and the blue team now has to decide how they want to run this fight. If they, for example, try to deny the turn-in to the opponent, then they have to be way more aggressive and posture on the map. But they are letting them push into them with Stitches. But getting another turn-in would be a bit wild. I mean, that would be turn-in number 5. 5 Web Weaver waves? That's a little bit wild. So, yeah, down at the bottom of the map. They're already positioning themselves here, but they let it happen. They're not trying to guard the turn-in points. They're just saying, alright, whatever, we're gonna play it out when they have their own objective. And I am a little bit surprised to see that. Honestly, I thought they would try and see if they can stop them from turning in the first place. That's not really the case. So it's all about sitting back a little bit, let them push into you, and then hope for that hook of Stitches so that you can get those quick kills. And if they can, that would obviously help them with the defense. But for now, it's just not a thing. But very intentional, clearly, to just sit there and say, like, let them push into us. We got the defense. We got Odin, we got Junkrat, and we got the hooks. But it will destroy the top keep. I mean, the boss earlier that didn't take it down was already a bit... Well, it was great defense, but was partly due to the fact that the red team didn't push. Now, though, you won't be able to save that top keep anymore. Now, losing that keep is not the end of the game. Down at the bottom of the map again, this one's gone as well. They are actually trying to defend, though, because the red team has now moved down to the bottom of the map. And you know what? They're going to get this one. This is going to be the defense. Do not tell me that Team HasuObs gets nothing out of this. Granted, the team composition of Team Dynouh is good for defending against these pushes. But they got nothing. Nothing. You can't even make an argument that they at least got more map control, because they're controlling exactly as much of the map now as they did before the turn-in. This turn-in did literally nothing. Blue team is in the same spot. No damage on the keeps, no additional damage on the keeps. And now they're trying to turn in again. They want turn-in number, what is this now, 6? That's actually crazy when you think about it. Everybody's afraid to lose a hero. Nobody wants to take risks. And I get why. Both of them aren't in a great spot here. And obviously for HasuObs teams, it would be really good too if Dynouh would go 0-3 now. Stitches is waiting for hooks. They're all playing around vision. There's 60 gems in the hands of Team Dynouh. They're getting very close to a turn-in as well. Cure turns in. They need to get rid of the gems that are being held by Urel, though. Copenhagen is on 46. And I think he's going to finally deliver. The answer is no. Oh my god. He tries again, but they're going to go for another interrupt. And yeah, he should have been the first one to try, honestly. He's keeping it up here. Interrupt after interrupt, and finally they're able to get those turned in. 5 gems are needed. This is the exact amount that they're currently holding. They even grab up a few more, so now they could get their web weavers. Top side, this would alleviate pressure from the top keep. This is a lane where they're obviously already figuring out that they won't be able to push this too hard. But blue team is going to get web weavers. This is an opportunity to push. So let's check out. Guys, we're 29 minutes into the game. 29 minutes. They go for Urel. And there's the old use. Big cooldown burn. Benny was looking for a chance to use his hungry Stitches. Web Weavers at the top are only going to push it out slowly. Bot lane, mid lane, those are the important ones at this point. Stitches is also going to be looking for angles so that he can land a hook here. He's going to try and make that work. But they're taking some walls out. They're giving him some opportunities. Trying to predict it in the middle. Can't connect it. 82,000 damage from Hanzo. The next keep might fall. No keep has fallen on Dynouh's side, but that's the second keep for Team HasuObs that gets destroyed. They're engaging with Tyrael. They can't make the play here. Chrysalis is being used by Kerrigan to save the day, but that's the core being attacked. HasuObs' team had turn-in after turn-in after turn-in. They get the kill on Tychus. They might win it in the team fight now, but the core is getting attacked. The shield is falling quickly, and it's not the only thing that falls. Hanzo is low, is trying to get away, makes it out of the fight, and the hooks are not connecting the way that they want to. The shield scratched, but not destroyed. The last keep has fallen. Every single keep is gone on the red team side. Can they retreat without falling, without losing the team? Malfurion is gone. They need to retreat here. The core is still losing hit points. They have a little bit of time, but they're losing Bad Benny too, and this might just be the end of the game regardless. The core currently on 70-80%, and what's the play? Junkrat gets junked, and only Rel survives. The core at 61% right now. If they would have just been able to move back without losing the team, this would be a very different story. But Team Dynouh, they forgot how to win. 13 kills to 7. If they would have kept the team together to defend, this is a different story. Now they have only 2 defenders. Odin is up. They can use it, and they do. There's Catapult pushing for the blue team. They might still be able to make some moves here. But the attacks, they keep on going strong. But the core is, of course, losing hit points quickly. They needed the defenders. They don't have them here. Big follow-up on the initial stun. Tychus is gone. And that's a win for the red team. Red team takes it. And that is game. 8 kills to 14. 31-minute game. As we're opening the series up with a victory for Team HasuObs. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before we continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Sky Temple, let's go. Team HasuObs is in the lead, everybody. We have Team Dynouh. I mean, they were so close to winning it. I think if they are able to walk away from the last fight without dying, they win the game. At that point, we're 31-32 minutes in the game. Catapults basically one-shot structures. There was not a single keep left anymore. The blue team had all of their keeps still standing. So if they just retreat and survive, the catapults will finish the job for them eventually. But they got basically completely rolled on the way back. They only had 2 survivors and one of them died on the defense then. And the red team did what they needed to do. They used the opportunity. They got the kills. They sped people up with Lucio. They chased them. They were able to get them kills that they needed. And now, of course, they are in the lead in the series, which means that Dynouh's team is 1 more loss away from looking at a 0-3 track record in the round robin, which is just nuts. I mean, look at Dynouh's team and tell me that you were expecting them to find themselves in this situation right now. Crazy. Was a really close call on the last map, but for now, let's see if the blue team can somehow force game number 3. They went for Lucio, quick pick. We have Hogger and Brightwing now chosen for Sky Temple. Map choice, by the way, by Team HasuObs, so they came in and chose the map. MIF gets banned, and so does Sergeant Hammer. Quick reminder that there are no draft restrictions, so all of the heroes that were played previously can be played again. You've probably already figured that out with some of the choices that we're seeing here. But yeah, let's see what they can pull off. Bad Benny goes for Muradin. We got Blaze, so you have your CC train going strong again. Could still go for a few more globals, of course. Another choice for the side lane would have been the Haka, and then you can try and play the macro card. With Lucio, you already have a macro tool, I guess. Make things a little bit faster there. And still, for the red team, we need to have a bit of a flavor of what exactly they're going to do here. Definitely looking towards Gablo as well. Could see another Genji pick from him too, of course. Falsa gets banned. Falsa banned. Every time I see Sky Temple, there's a little voice in the back of my head that's like, Apertha, Apertha, Apertha. It has also to do with Hasu being on the team. They banned the Vikings out. I don't think we're going to get Abby here. But Falset is obviously one of the heroes that, you know, when Abathar is on the map, can easily fly in and then get a kill. So Falstad bans, yeah. You ban out a few of the globals. You don't want to go up against him. You don't have the Haka here. Let's see what they're going to choose. Especially what Gavlo is going to pick up. We're going to get some Genji performance from him today. Or... yeah, how they're going to run this. Sylvanas and ETC. So they're leaving themselves a little bit more wiggle room with Gavlo's pick. And pick him last. But they have the ability to push for structures. And with ETC, they obviously now also have a tool that they can technically use in order to initiate some global presence with him going into stage dive. Now, you don't really have to. There's nothing on the opponent that you need to mirror. There's no the Haka play, for example. But if you feel like, hey, that's the play to make here, you could still try and do that. But Moshpit, obviously, if played well, could still win you the game. We get Jaina and we get Cure on Thrall. So Jaina for a little bit more frost, burst damage. Thrall with the triple front line right now. Alright, so triple front line for Team Dynouh. And they're on their last leg here. They need to win here. They need to take the victory. On the right side, we got the final pick for Team HasuObs on Sky Temple. They got the lead. This is match point for them. The opportunity to take this with a 2-0. And they go for Malthael. It's a triple front line as well. And we are set for the second map. Ladies and gentlemen, Sky Temple. Team Dynouh on the left in blue. Well, it's not going to get any easier for them here. They have not won a single map in this tournament yet. Captain Rex on Lucio. We have Dynouh himself on Jaina. Cure's playing Thrall in game number 2 of the series. We got Copenhagen on Blaze and Bad Benny on Muradin. As over on the right side of the map, it is Team HasuObs with the captain on Sylvanas. We got Gavlo on Malthael, Johan on ETC, Svamgrotta on Hogga, and Hunter Orc is playing Brightwing for the red team. They obviously have match point and could close out the series with a quick 2-0. Dynouh and his boys definitely suffering here. And we'll see if they remember how to win Heroes of the Storm games. Because they are running out of times and space. Top lane, that's where we're going to get a little bit of back and forth. Obviously with Sylvanas, you always have to make sure that she's not all of a sudden appearing right on those structures and take those apart. We can move into the middle of the map to try and help out here. Muradin, Benny gets pushed back. So far so good. And yeah, some extra pressure here on level 1. We're now getting the lingering chill from Jaina. Get the adrenaline stim pack. Stormbolt and the slide from ETC. Okay, Johan, careful. That's a kill. Yes, it is. That is first blood, but it comes at a bit of a price. Some of the structures down here have started to suffer. Now they are going to split out on the lane in order to meet that approach. But still, half of the hit points on the tower are gone. First blood though has been handled. ETC has been taken out. So at least they're starting the game with a kill. So that's already something. I mean, they're getting there. Now, on top of that, we have camps now slowly claimed. That means siege giants for both teams. Actually, the red team is not making a move for their siege giants, but they already picked their bruiser camp. And are pushing that to the top now. Over here, this one still needs to be taken out as well. And Dynouh is now on the way to help out Copenhagen to grab it as quickly as they can, because it gets escorted to the top lane. And if you get those in quickly, then you might be able to do some extra damage here. Siege giants at the bottom of the map also have to be met, and that's where Malthael comes into play now for Team Dynouh. We have Thrall already with the Frostwolf pack on level 4. And we're getting Throwing Shade. And, of course, the Unstable Poison. Now, first tower down. And they are destroying quite a few pieces of that wall, which is always nice on Sky Temple. Helps you a lot to maximize the damage from the temples. Svamgrotta already moving back out here. Sylvanas with a little bit of damage. A tactical pause attempt. And there it is. So, quick pause on the side of the red team. Now, it seems like nobody has actually dropped out of the map. And yeah, we'll see what actually is going on here. But for now, quick pause, and hopefully it's not too big of a deal. We have still the first objective to pop up, so we're 2 minutes and a half into the game. And we'll quickly see how the first objective plays out. So far, Team Hasu is a little bit ahead, but yeah, with a quick pause that we just got here, I just hope that there's no tech difficulties that we have on their side. That would be a bit unfortunate, given where we currently are in the series. And whatever the problem was has apparently been resolved. And you see with the slide, Lucy's a little bit low, but should be able to get out here. There's nobody waiting at the top lane. He's kind of teasing Hogger a bit, though. So, yeah, comes in, teases Hogger slightly. And that camp and the pressure at the top did also some structural damage. So, they're changing tower damage. We had this down at the bottom of the map, then earlier we had the approach up here at the top. So they're fairly even on structural damage. Normally when you see one team pulling ahead and then an even split on the temples, and of course you can get the early fort, for example, and try and get some catapult advantage in the early stage of the game, but not so much here. Lucio gets killed, and that is the first kill for Team HasuObs. So Lucio down, and maybe an opportunity for the red team to take over some of the additional shots, and that's exactly what they're aiming for. We have Muradin instantly moving towards the middle and trying to do the same thing here. So dealing with Hunter Orc, but it's more of just buying some time for the rest to rotate over. And that's where we're getting HasuObs on Sylvanas. They're trying again for Bad Benny. And Bad Benny turns into Dead Benny. So, he's gone. That's kill number 2. And for Dynouh's team, yeah, it's a little bit of beat down here. Getting a bit slapped around on the first objective. They are finally retaking the temple in the middle, but they still are going to lose some shots. So objective number 1, bit of a win in my opinion for Team Hasu. And just saying, from the looks of it, can they take the last ones? Nah, they can't. From the looks of it, that first objective was a pretty solid win here. So they're taking the last few fairly easily, and not even ETC gets lost. They were totally willing to sacrifice ETC if they had to, but he's able to get away. Thrall is now on 4 stacks. So, yeah, he's getting closer and closer to completing his quest talent on level 4. Up at the top. That should be the end of ETC. Yeah! Johan can rush out and buy some time, but he is going to die. Hit that wall. Hit it hard. Slides through and wastes even more of their time. I like it. I mean, obviously inevitable that he's gonna die, but they're delaying that kill for as long as they can. He's coming in with a half. He's probably gonna have some fun with this. And Captain Rax is slowly and steadily taking this out. By the way, talking about that hit at the top, you also had for a moment Muradin getting attacked a bit. Apparently they've had enough of this. And Johannes still trying to slide out, and ETC gets finally killed. So yeah, there's that. Could have, of course, committed Honorable Sudoku at any point by moving into the fort range. But people were just delaying things here slightly. We have now Muradin with another Stormbolt attempt. And Cure is very stingy with those wolves for good reason. Oh, and he misses it just as I talk about it. He misses the wolf and loses the stacks. They get the kill on Malthael. And instantly the move for the boss. Honestly, I feel like at this point, I may be completely wrong on this, but I have the feeling sometimes that in some of these moments, Dynouh's team is just saying, fuck it, let's play it risky. Let's take some risks here. We're already so far down the rabbit hole and having so many problems. If we're not taking risks, then we're just going to lose this. We can't just play the safe the entire time. It's not working for us right now. So if we have opportunities, let's just go for those immediate moves. And they will get value out of that boss. The only problem I have with this is that the camp that was taken previously by Team HasuObs at the top lane is now getting mad value for the red team. So this fort is maybe even getting destroyed. But at least down at the bottom of the map, we're now having Bad Benny on the temple. ETC has to jump out with stage dive, moves into the middle as they're trying to get a kill on Jaina. And that's Jaina gone, gets kicked around as well. They were pretty mad at her. Now she was everybody frosting down. But Sylvanas gets killed, so a bit of a counter kill. Bottom fort is now gone. And all in all, we are actually seeing Team Dynouh pull a bit ahead. Yeah, shots fired towards the middle, so they're pulling slightly ahead in structures here. In kills is not looking too horrible either. We got 4 kills to 3 now. Bit of a leading experience as well. 13,000 damage for Sylvanas. We got 14,000 for Lucio. Yeah, Lucio's top damage. Lucio's top damage for Team Dynouh. I can understand. I mean, that sound is making ears bleed all around him. And since we didn't have too many big team fights, just having that as a bit of a noise complaint the entire time when he's trying to make these screeching noises that he interprets as music, then obviously this will have an effect on the opponent. I mean, yeah, just on a psychological level already. Stress levels are rising right now. We're also having pressure on Sylvanas as she jumps out of the fight. Yeah, and an early level 13 talent possibly in that battle for Team Dynouh, as Cure completes the quest. Big wolf from him. Sundering is out. They go for the kill and they drop Malthael. They are trying to drop Hazo too. Might be able to grab him. Muradin is going deep, but he can't get the kill. Bad Benny is dead, and so is Thrall. So they're losing 2 once more. They're getting at least damage on the fort, but it's just all over the place, the game. It's just kill versus kill. Malthael goes down, Sylvanas, then all of a sudden we're having Muradin and Thrall dying. Still the lead for the team, and the push towards the middle where they escorted minions in, and it allows them to drop another fort. So that's fort number 2 that has fallen. But with the help of Sylvanas, the red team is reacting at the top of the map, and they're getting a major structure as well. So, yep. Everybody's pushing, trying to make plays. Right wing is helping out Malthael as he's at the bottom of the map. The fruit fly becomes the target, but here comes Hogger and tries to help out a little bit. They go for Jaina, and Dynouh gets wrecked. The Ice Princess melts away. And now ETC. Yeah, Johan. Oh, less drinking the day before your games. Johan with a slide, and Lucio is having none of it.
Nope.
Just dodges it, and that slide went nowhere. So Captain Rex still absolutely alright here and is able to get out. They were hoping, of course, to follow up the first kill against Jaina with the second one on Lucio and then really running the show. Now the objective at the top is going to take down the fort top side, which means that all of the forts that we're having for the red team are now gone. But they want teamfight victories. They go for Bad Benny again. They kill Thrall, and Benny, Stormbolt, he's not making it. He's not making it. You can run, baby. You can't hide. Well, but he can actually trade. This trade is up. Pops his avatar. Lucio says hello. And has to be very careful that he doesn't say a quick goodbye. But it's time for Muradin to accept that he's not going to make it here. Muradin goes down. And that's them taking over control of the top temple. And shots fired therefore towards the middle. And we still have another temple down at the bottom of the map. So this could result in the blue team also losing a significant amount of their structures. Currently, they're way ahead. You look at the minimap, very clear advantage for Team Dynouh. But they're also one hero down, and Team HasuObs is now moving in for the remaining shots at the bot lane and could easily move someone like Sylvanas into the middle of the map to take that fort out. But since they're not making any plays and are apparently a bit afraid of that early level 16 advantage for Team Dynouh, they're losing more shots and more ground on the map therefore. Level 16 talents are ready. And I really think they could have made a move with what they have on the map. But they decided against it, and now they're starting to lose hit points on the keep in just a moment. That wall is essentially destroyed. They're not getting any shots here. They will at least get the fort, I suppose. But we have now 25,000 damage for Sylvanas. And we got 20,000 for Lucio. Still the top damage dealer for them. Stormbolt for ETC. Sundering. And, well, Johan jumps out. Where's that shockwave when you need it? Hogger pops it. They're trying again for Thrall, and he's dead. And so is maybe Bad Benny. I mean, usually they die as a duo. Seems like to be a solidarity thing. This time, Benny... Nah, there he is. Dies for him. Okay. It's a solidarity death, apparently. Every single time that Thrall gets eliminated, Muradin decides that he needs to die as well. Maybe Thrall has a little bit of low confidence lately. You know, has been replaced as a war chief and is just like sitting in a corner drinking half the day, which is never really a good thing. So Muradin is trying to boost his confidence a bit. So when Thrall dies, Muradin just says like, okay, I'm better gonna let myself be taken out too. Or Thrall thinks it's him. So yeah, that happened now I think 3 or 4 times in a row that we see the two of them die together. Maybe it's a bromance thing, I mean, I don't know. But with those kills, we have the open shot at the boss, and that's something they grab immediately. Sylvanas is pushing out the bot lane and allowing them to take, with the help of the minion wave, the fort. So that boss is going to go straight for the keep. And yeah, like, I don't know. 10 kills to 5 now. Team Dynouh had a massive lead on structures that has essentially evaporated now. And what we're getting instead is pressure, pressure, pressure from Team HasuObs as they're looking for a 2-0 victory. 2 stacks also for Malthael, so that's a 10-second cooldown reduction on the ult. The fuck is happening here? Where are you going? What the hell? What the hell was that? ETC and Brightwing are both dead. They were about as confused as I was and completely missed what was happening around them. But yeah, that boss was a little bit... I mean, honestly, I can understand it. That boss was like, you know what? This is getting a little bit boring. It's getting really boring. Let's check out what's over there. Oh my god, look, there's a different lane. There's a completely different lane. That's insane. Wow. I never knew that there was more to life than the bot lane. Yeah, nice unstoppable there from Sylvanas as she moves back. But yeah, that was... That's the first keep, now that the blue team has taken a bit of a lead. But that was something. I talked earlier about, who was it, Muradin Day drinking a little bit, or was it Thrall? I can't remember, but apparently that boss has looked into the bottle a little bit too often and too long and got lost. Somebody needs to get that guy Google Maps, because I wouldn't have thought that it's that difficult to follow a single lane, but apparently it's a little bit harder than expected. I mean, honestly, check that out again. Ah, wrong button, my bad. Yeah, well, you have to go for the replay, I suppose. But anyways, that was wild. He wanted to see the world. They're a little bit bored. I mean, think about it. If you're a mercenary in this game for 10 years now, you've always traveled the same path. Of course, at some point you want to see something different. Can't really blame him. 38,000 for Sylvanas, 30,000 for Jaina. And we have level 20 kicking in. Yep, level 20 is ready. First keep has been destroyed. It's coming down to the team fights. Gavlo gets attacked, sundered, and is dead. That's a 5 versus 4 right there. Team Dynouh, now with opportunities. Momentum. Can they make the plays here? That's the question. Steal a couple of camps away, go into the mid lane, drop some hit points on that keep so that they make it easier with the next objective to drop a few more. And then maybe, just maybe, force game number 3. So right here we have the level 20 talents. That gives us no one can stop death. Well, they did pretty well stopping death so far, I gotta say. But yeah, one more camp down at the bottom of the map. The boss at 1.5 minutes until we can get another little adventure. This is still so baffling me. It doesn't shock me that it happens in this series though. Now, 10 kills to 2. Blaze hasn't died yet, neither has Hogger. Everybody else died at least once. And here comes the double objective. Siege Giants and Catapults at the bottom of the map. I mean, Team Dynouh is now ahead. Team Dynouh is ahead. It comes down to a team fight. The red team needs to force it. And if they can win it, they find themselves in decent spots. One of the main reasons why nobody's moving to the top lane. Everybody is sitting here in the middle, waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the chance to go for the big moves. But the red team is also under pressure and on a timer, because down at the bottom of the map, again, this is pushing for the core. And they're going to lose hit points on the core if this continues. There's Siege Giants, there's Catapults, it's just too much to handle. And, well, they take a few shots, but they're already sliding away. They send Hogger down to the bottom of the map in order to ensure that they're not losing the shield here too much. The Catapults are at least being taken out, and Swamgrotta can now rejoin the team. And definitely has to, because they're struggling. Or are they? Because that's a kill. That's a kill. ETC! Yeah, he falls too. They're trading blows here. But with Malthael locking in another stack, that also means, of course, that we now have 15 seconds of cooldown reduction for him. Might get another one back for that fight. Shots fired through the middle, but the blue team is moving towards the top to try and make their play there. Brightwing down at the bottom of the map, dealing with the Siege Giants and locking in another Catapult. Destroying that quickly. And move towards the top once that they need to. It's all about taking the catapults apart. But here comes the battle. Lucio low. Thrall low. Brightwing came in. They can't get Thrall, but they might be able to get Lucio. Jaina's also low, but she gets the kill on Malthael. He's buying back right away. And Lucio with 40 hit points. They're getting the shockwave, and he can't get the kill. No! The ice block was back for Dynouh, and he uses it to survive the fight, and does. Now they go for Thrall. Action here still unfolding. The keep in the middle has, by the way, fallen on the red team side, so that's 2 keeps down. ETC jumping in with a stage dive. Sundering is out. They're still pushing. 11 kills to 11. 22 kills in total. And they're trying to capture the final shots on the top temple as the red team is reduced to a single keep with 50% of its HP at the top. What a bananas series. Game 1 and 2 in Spider was tricky. Careful with that boss. It might walk into the wrong direction. You never know. I would recommend bribing it with sweets or something. Chocolate usually goes a long way. Maybe some Ferrero Rocher. That could be nice. Because, again, if you screw with that boss, it might just go, completely bananas. But so far we're on track. Guys. So, for now, it's all down at the bot lane. Okay, we're good. Don't move towards the top. It's over the bridge. Over the bridge we go. A little bit more here, Through the gate then. Yeah, straight for that core. So far we're looking good. And, yeah, it's a win. So this one seems to be a little bit better. Captain Rex is mega low, by the way. Lucio, he keeps surviving though. But here comes ETC with another stage dive. Sundering! And Dynouh's team might just win a map here. They go for the kill on ETC. They take him out. They lose Thrall. And they might lose more, but Malthael has now been eliminated. Hogga is just pogging like a madman and finally gets that Lucio kill. But the boss is on the core, and I do not think they can stop it here. It's down to 50% of its HP. Maybe they can, but the core is already at 70%. Nah, there's absolutely no way. We're going the distance. We're going to game number 3. 26 kills in total as Team Dynouh finally wins a map here and forces game 3. GG. Coming up next, we have the 3rd map of the series. If you guys enjoy the content, also consider to head over to patreon.com/Khaldor. Support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene alive there. It's the best way to support the channel. Huge shout out to everybody that is already a supporter. You guys are really helping to keep this alive, and you help us to host event after event for the game here. Especially after Blizzard abandoning this already 7 years ago. It's absolutely fantastic that we're still able to do this here. So big shout out to all of the supporters. And again, if you enjoy the coverage, if you would like to support us, head over there and check it out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the next game. Dragonshire, game number 3. So we're going the distance on another series, and an absolute banger match between Dynouh's team and the team of HasuObs. It is an interesting one. I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy things here. Game number 1 went 31 minutes with a lot of back and forth, and in game number 2, the boss all of a sudden gets lost on the map. Now we're heading into the final one. We are heading into Dragonshire. And Dynouh just won the first map. Now also, again, just to highlight this, we have 2 teams in this whole round robin play that we have that haven't even played yet. So the way that the schedule has been made, 2 teams have not played a single game, which means that even if Dynouh's team loses and goes 0-3, there is still a chance that they make it into the playoffs. So they're not out, but of course they would find themselves in an insanely difficult position to get out there. Now we'll see right now what happens on that final map. If Dynouh's team is able to secure victory here, at least they already won a map, so that counts for something. But the red team is going to try and push this hard. I think the upcoming series, the next few games that we have today, will at least introduce one of the remaining teams, Team Sadath, where we're then going to have a bit of an idea of where they are standing with the power level. But, of course, if you're Team Dynouh, you want to avoid starting into the group with an 0-3. It's not only about making it to the playoffs, not that's the most important part, of course, but you also want to avoid ending up in that 4th or 3rd spot. You want to have a bit of an easier way by just simply moving into one of the top 2 positions and then dodging a strong opponent in the first round. Now we get Muradin and we get Rhaegar to kick things off here in game 3. And with Chromie not being banned this time, we had her very quickly locked in by the red team. Maiev banned, Lucio, everybody's apparently tired of him. there is still for the top lane, Rexa, Dehaka, Blaze. Those are probably your top picks. Dehaka already taken. And now it's just a question of, okay, what are we going to go against Dehaka? With Cure, I mean, they could technically go for Urel as well. Blaze would probably, from a pure meta perspective, be the better pick for them. But if they want to go for something like Urel, they could. Don't think that we're going to see Leoric here. Rexa, a bit unlikely. Well, I guess Copenhagen could play Rexa. Rexa is still fantastic on Dragonshire to hold on to the objective, so he's great in that role. So if they feel they can get value out of that, they might go for him. But I suppose those would be the top 3 choices for them right now. The only way to expand this even further is if you are already determined to go for a triple frontline. And then, of course, you have a few other options as well. Diablo banned on the front. Yeah, so Jojo and Diablo now banned both. With Chromie taken, you could go variant. Benny has played a lot. Why am I talking Benny? Red team doesn't have Benny. Forget what I just said. The Abathar ban. Yeah, a little bit afraid that we're going to get that symbiote for Muradin. It's kind of disappointing, honestly, that Abathar gets banned out. I'm not sure if they wanted him, but it would have been cool to see Abby again. Yeah, it would have been pretty nice. But, okay, what are they going to go for? There's Urel. Again, as I said before, Urel definitely an option 2. So, no pick into Blaze. We get Cure on Lunara. Full on Bambi style on us with that. Going for the Dryad here. And then the final 2 picks for in this series. For the red team. We still need the main tank. And, more importantly, Gavlo with a secret weapon. Is he finally unleashing also his Genji, or are we not seeing that today at all? There's his Genji. Genji's in, and we get Tyrell together with it. So, very likely another Judgment play. And then Chromie with a follow-up, Brightwing, Dehaka, CC, Dynouh and Cassia now. And with that, it is the final map of the series. We are headed for Dragonshire, ladies and gentlemen. Dynouh against HasuObs. The die has been cast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final map. This is the one that counts here in the round robin. Cure on Lunara for the blue team. We got Bad Benny on Muradin, Dynouh himself on Cassia, Captain Rex on Rhaegar, and Copenhagen on Urel playing the Space Goat. To the right side, it's Team HasuObs with Hunter Orc on Brightwing. We got the Captain on Chromie with the Time Walker's Pursuit. Gavlo is playing Genji. We got Johan on Tyrael. And then Swamgrotta on Dehaka. Okay. Who's taking the lead here? They're willing to brawl it out in the middle. Everybody is joining up here. There's the lick. And Q is low. Genji comes in, wants the kill, and they get it. That's the kill right there. But it's a combo. They are going for the follow-up, and the explosion murders Urel. Yeah, that's how you go bonkers in the mid lane fight, in the 5 versus 5. Brawl it out, baby. They get the kill against Lunara first. After that, we have the counter kill on Tyrael, and he gets the explosion value and locks in another one. So the red team slightly ahead now after that engage here. So yeah, they're going... Oh, well, actually, they're going into the mid lane against Dynouh. And can they get a kill? No. Not quite yet. So, well, Cassia actually has to be a little bit careful, because as more heroes rotate over, there's also more potential to get a quick burn on her. Top lane, 1v1, as the shrines are about to activate here in the next aggression, with Muradin being a little bit low in the middle, buying time for the rest of the team to grab those siege giants. Yep, and the siege giants are already taken. Over on the right side, Johan is helping out Chromie. And for Brightwing, we get the Hyper Shift on level 1, the Fruit Fly in action, as Benny with his epic, unique mount is coming in. Nobody's going for the easy DK here. But there is immediate pressure on the Dragon Knight, and it forces somebody to stay in the mid lane. Especially since Bad Benny is now saying hello. So the Stormbolt connect, but of hit points already lost. The Haka is now sitting at the top, and the red team is starting to take control at the bottom of the map too. Maybe an opportunity for them to get the DK. Usually this early in the game you don't really get the chance there. They want to go for Dehaka. Good damage, forcing Brightwing to respond too. No grab here. And down at the bottom of the map, it is Bambi going up against Chromie. So, with more pressure at the top lane and the camp that they previously took, there might be a chance to take some of those towers out. It's a 3-man defense and a lick already in. We go for Tyrael again. Johan has to move out and does. As Genji is now starting to move towards the top as well to help the teammates out. Good job by him. But they lose Tyrael. Tyrael is gone. And this time they can't get the explosion on a hero. I mean, to be fair, they were close, but this time it's not working out that easily. And it leads to Muradin going for the Dragon Knight in the middle of the map. So Team Dynouh with DK #1 and some momentum for the third map of the series. Can they win a match here? As I said before, if they lose, they're still not out of the group stage. They still have a chance to get to the playoffs. But a victory would go a long way at this point. I mean, it really, really would. Right now, you want to make sure that you at least log one win in. And it would be also very nice for them to get that win against the red team, because that would mean that both of them are sitting at 2 losses and 1 win. So they would be absolutely even. If you can drag somebody else down with you, then hey, fantastic. Now, in the meantime, we have more pressure on structures. No stacking for Cassia, but still working the damage in pretty easily. Muradin has, of course, with the Dragon Knight done damage in the middle of the map and has broken through the wall. And that's the second one that falls now down here. Even a bit of damage on the fort itself. Both of the teams on level 7, but we have Team Dynouh now with more than a half-level lead. And they will grab an early level 10 if that pattern continues. Especially, of course, if they can even get another kill here. They're trying already to wait for the Stormbolt, and yeah. Little bit too eager. Would have probably loved to go for a quick move on this, but couldn't quite. Stormbolt didn't seem to be ready. I think even with a Stormbolt it would have been a stretch to take Right Wing out, but yeah, every bit counts, obviously. Especially on this map, when you have to control multiple points on the map. If you're able to take your opponent's fort out on one of the side lanes, then that means there's no fountain anymore. So it makes it much easier to control the shrine when your opponent can't just simply drop back, tap a fountain, and then re-engage into the fight and sustain themselves. So if you're able to take that out, then hey, fantastic. Now, down at the bottom of the map, we're getting the camp now claimed. And this actually means that they will get more damage in. If they can also keep the siege giants alive a bit longer and run this with a double camp, then even better. Muradin gets attacked, but still try and turn it, yeah. And now they have that double camp. So if they now push with enough heroes, and now that they kill Tyrael, there's a big chance. They got level 10, and even the explosion is not doing enough. So this is huge. Absolutely huge. Khaldor is here, eats a lot of damage from Lunara, and that fort is getting attacked and slowly murdered. Muradin, still alive and kicking, lands another Stormbolt on Genji, and they're getting more and more damage in on that fort. And with the siege giants chipping in, they nearly have it. Once that thing is down, that fountain's gone, and you have such an easy time controlling the bot lane. That's exactly what they're aiming for. This is why they're pushing so aggressively, and they're able to take it. There's the play for Chromie, and she is dead. Gets slapped hard. There we go. Alright. Chromie gets taken and murdered, and then at the same time, the red team still trying to defend you, but they gotta be careful. You got up against level 10 abilities. Gotta be cautious, guys. Topside pressure from Copenhagen, so good for him. But, yeah, that's another... well, maybe it's not another Dragon Knight. They have control, but level 10 will now be ready for the red team too, so they will be able to fight here. For a second I thought they had enough time to go for the middle and lock this one in, but yeah, not that quickly. So we get Judgment as expected. Stormbolt straight to the face, onto that face mask. Brightwing hasn't made a choice yet. I guess technically you could make a Brightwing play with Emerald Wind. I just don't see it. We have that very rarely. The last time that I've seen Emerald Wind was when Stitches was in the game. So Gorge Emerald Wind isolation plays. With Genji, we've seen that in the past, in the HGC days in particular, that you would go for a bit of a dive bomb play, where you're coming in, you're using Emerald Wind, you're isolating a target and then getting kills with it. But that has disappeared for a long time, and well, he makes the move. And we get Brightwing with a blink kill. So, not going for any fancy plays here. Double control again, as they're hoping for kill at the dragon. Cure doesn't quite get it, but he could get it now. And he will. There's the Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight number 2. Guys, Team Dynouh they are all of a sudden making some plays. This is looking way better. Game number 1 looked a bit rough at times. I think they had a chance to win it on Tumor Spider Queen, but it just didn't work out. Then in game 1, that was. In game number 2, they did a little bit better and were able to lock it in eventually. And now here in game number 3, not only are they looking strong, but they are taking a significant lead. They have taken a fort out. They are grabbing the second objective. They're able now to work around the Dragon's Breath and do exactly that. So no suicide missions into the fort range, but instead playing around the timer and playing around the cooldown to do as much damage in the mid lane as possible. As everybody else moves towards the top for the fight, the Dragon Knight engages and commits to the attack, but not before that. Benny though goes down, but the DK has taken the fort out and is now trying to also eliminate the wall. So yeah, that's another big play. Can get good damage in. Lunara still stays out and plays this one slow, but we still have a lot of heroes in the middle and they are able to get another kill. They're taking Rhaegar out this time. So after Muradin, Rhaegar falls too, both of them not using their ult. Dynouh is also in trouble. And just, I mean, again, the caster curse never fails. As I said before, my bank account, my PayPal account is open. So I can only recommend the blue team if you want to have a good chance here. Just, you know, send that sneaky donation over and I will talk well about your opponent's team. And then a second later, the caster curse will strike and will obliterate them. Exactly what we saw here. To be fair, Team Hasu clearly paid me. So I needed to come in and talk well about the blue team. And then, yeah, it's just too strong. The strong ability, it should be my ult if I ever end up as a hero in the game. All dumb jokes aside, they got 2 forts, lost a couple of heroes, they're still ahead in experience. The passive experience tickler they're getting is also a nice little boon, as you can already see here. So passive XP increase, they are looking good on the minion experience. Losing the 2 heroes, losing Rhaegar and Muradin kind of sucks a bit for them, but it still is a really nice and significant advantage that they're running with. They have a level lead over the opponent, and with them taking 2 of the forts out, they're also taking those fountains apart, which means the next objective should be a little bit easier to win, especially if they're able to maintain a level 16 talent advantage at that point in time. Even stealing Siege Giants now away. Swamgrotta is moving out with the Haka. Down here, they were obviously attempting to hold on to that wall for as long as possible. This is traditionally the lane where most of the damage is done with late-game Dragon Knights, so you want to maintain that. But once they have level 16, they might just be able to get themselves the 3rd objective, and that would go a long way. So, right now, down at the bottom of the map, and level 16 is in, okay. Avenge him. And destroy your enemies. Destroy them. Well, they're trying. It's a little bit over-eager here. Accelerated contamination. Plus, we got Rhaegar now with the Earthgrasp Totem. A little of a mini-stun, you could argue. The Haka against Copenhagen up at the top, but Urel is still totally fine here. Red team is looking for level 16 talents before they're engaging into another battle, but they might not be able to avoid this. They're poking. They're probably going to poke out in the middle if the double control is being established, and they should have enough time by eliminating the minion wave over there to get close enough to 16 that the red team or the blue team is thinking twice about how they want to play this out. But they are putting pressure into the middle of the map now. Muradin is already jumping in. Benny is there. By now we have 16 talents on both sides. It gives us the final cut, of course. And Dehaka has moved down to the bottom of the map. Stormbolt misses. Dehaka collects it. Good for him. And here in the middle, they're trying again for a potential kill. Keep in mind that Judgment, of course, is still up. With an X-Strike and a Chromie follow-up, you can get an enormous amount of damage out in a short period of time, which is one of the tools that they were able to use earlier. But no fort destroyed yet on the other side. Yeah. Not a single one. So right now, if you look at the passive experience increase, that's basically 3,000. Judgment not out yet. Johan trying to move back out. Gavlo low, and Gavlo with X-Strike might still die. Brightwing with a good reaction, but Judgment gets interrupted. Johan nearly died, somehow makes it, and oh my god, they just can't get the kill. They want it though. They're looking at Tyrael and saying like, let's kill that fucker. They're trying to come in and drop him. Chromie is the first one to fall. and Tyrael gets eliminated. He's always playing the high and mighty one, and now they brought him low. He tried to escape, he tried to dance around them, but it is a kill, it's a double kill, and it's the end of the fort at the top lane too, as they're taking control of the shrine. Only Samgrotta is able to delay things a little bit further by moving down to the bottom of the map and grabbing them another objective. Very likely only going to delay things though. 32,000 damage for Genji. We have Cassia on 56,000. The Bridge of Death not being conquered. But they can now put anyone onto the DK. And it is Bad Benny that takes the Dragonite once more. Mirrodin, a little bit of a growth spur here from him. And they might just go for that camp. Or they might not. The only problem that they have, is they don't have level 20 yet. Still 1.5 levels of a lead. But you would of course love to get those Storm Talons. So they're probably going to play this a bit slow. But Dehaka shows topside. So for now they have a numbers advantage. Dehaka will move down soon. They want to have at least the wall here. And there's already the Dragon's Breath coming into play for them. So one connect at a time, one cooldown at a time. Burn this gate, burn those towers, get the Siege Giants into the mix. But the DK is at 30%. They want to at least damage the keep a little bit, and so far they do. Can they even get a kill? A bit unlikely, but they can use Lunara to get more damage on that keep. And honestly, the way that they're playing this, they might get the entire thing. They're also super close to level 20. Those Storm Talons are going to be here any second. Dehaka is maintaining control over the top lane as he is aiming for that fort and is able to destroy it. So the fort's gone, but they're losing the keep at the bot lane. And now it's just a question of whether or not the blue team thinks that they can go further than that. And apparently they do. They think they can win the game here. Dynouh and his team, they're making the call. Dehaka has to retreat and is hearthing back. But they want damage on the core. They want kills. They go for Genji. And Genji is gone. The judgment on Lunara. And, well, she's been judged to be toxic, but that plays to her advantage. And they get a kill on Tyrael as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Dynouh remembers how to win games, and they lock in a big W after being initially 0-1 against Team HasuObs. They're going for the big turnaround. They win the series, and both of the teams now on a 1-2 track record in the round robin. GG.